welcome to another episode of La Ventanita. I'm Carlos Frías, joined every week by my co-host, Amy Reyes.
Hi.
You excited for this one?
Super excited. This guy is probably my favorite person ever at this point.
We have been going
All the best
on
food opinions.
Yes, we've been going on on Twitter about it for the last 2 weeks. And I'm really excited to get into it. We're going to talk about some other things today. Obviously, Smorgasburg, which is this new open-air market. Think of it like food trucks without the trucks, like they're under canopy tents. Opening in Wynwood this weekend. We'll talk about that. A favorite of ours, Cake Thai, which closed during the pandemic, is reopening in a new location. And we'll get into the croqueta bracket.
The Sweet 16.
That is correct. But let's get right into it. Our guest today is Marc Hochman. Now, Marc is more than just South Florida's funniest, most prominent local sports radio host. He is a food provocateur. I have named him such. On his afternoon drive time show with former Dolphin Channing Crowder, you can hear all kinds of his food opinions. He declares ice cream cake the worst kind of cake. He despises the pickle spear that comes with sandwiches for some reason.
Blasphemy.
He claims that cherry Coke is a, quote, all-time banger.
Super ew.
And that Chicago deep dish pizza is the best kind of pizza. A past podcast guest of ours, Ryan Sense, the founder of Funky Buddha, called his food takes some of the worst he's ever heard. Here, have a listen.
I have arguments a lot with Marc Hochman from 560 because I think he's got the worst food takes in the history of man. You know, our argument is like he loves cookie cake, and I said it's not a cake; it's a cookie shaped like a cake. I mean, you might as well call pizza a cake just because it's the same shape. And he says ice cream cake is the worst, and I said that's absolutely false. Ice cream cake is the best. So I don't have any. I can't give you a hot take. I have all good takes.
I think Marc Hochman goes out of his way to he's a provocateur. He's a bad take food provocateur. So he said he had the worst food takes in the history of man.
Yeah, that is strong words. Shots fired.
Yeah. So we wanted to have Hoch on to defend himself. Now Marc is a busy guy who has to get ready for his own daily radio show. So we recorded our interview with him yesterday, but you'll hear it uncut in its entirety, and we will talk about it afterwards. So Pierre? So Amy, Marc Hochman is the only guest so far to have big-timed us and demanded to have his interview pre-recorded. No, that's not true. He actually he actually had a conflict and asked if we wouldn't mind pre-recording, and of course we would. We would not mind because we want to have him on to defend himself on previous guest Ryan Sense saying that he had some of the worst takes in food. So Marc Hochman, please tell us, do you have the worst takes in food, and why is that true?
No, it's not true. First of all, thank you for allowing me to tape in advance. It was really just a flex. I have nothing to do when this is going on live. It was a little bit of a flex. But no, I have great food takes. Here's the thing that gets confused, Carlos and Amy. I say things that, people go, oh, that's unpopular. But I'm not afraid to say the truth when it comes to food. So it gets confused sometimes. Oh, that guy's got the worst food takes. No, I don't have the worst food takes. I'm just not afraid to tell you that no one likes sweet potato fries. Everyone wants to order sweet potato fries.
Okay, I gotta agree with him there. This is true.
You see?
If you're gonna eat sweet potato fries, you are pretending to be on a diet.
You're pretending
that you're on a diet.
You're thinking, oh, I'm getting sweet potato fries. That's got to be healthier than a French fry. A,
but the oil.
It's not. Right. And B, they give you a marshmallow dip to dip it in. Like anything that you've got to dip in marshmallow to taste acceptable, isn't great on its own anyway. So everyone, oh, no, I like sweet potato fries. You don't. And I'm here. I'm trying to wake you up. Wakey. I'm trying to wake you up. No one wants sweet potato fries.
You know what my hot food take is, Marc? That shellfish is disgusting. Like anything like hard shell, Shellfish is just disgusting. I am from the school of what's that comedian's name? They called it snot from a rock. Oh God.
I don't know who
Anyway,
said that.
there's a comic that says that shellfish is basically snot in a rock.
I can't agree. I almost want Pierre, our technical director, to just mute your microphone.
No.
That's a wrong.
Well,
Can we just mute her?
I have to
Bacteria,
disagree.
like a little puddle
No.
of bacteria
No.
inside of a rock that you are slurping down like snot.
I mean, are we
Ew.
talking about stone crab here? Are we
I'm
talking
talking
about
about-
king crab legs?
I'm talking about shellfish, are like hard rock-
oysters,
You're
clams.
You are food
Oysters,
racist. No,
mussels.
you're a food racist.
Oysters,
you said
mussels,
all
clams.
crustaceans. No, this is some Midwest food racism. You're like,
No,
you're like,
I could eat like some shrimps if you cook them. I'll eat shrimp. But
I mean, how about you go to New Orleans and you go to Drago's and you get those what is it, the oysters? I mean,
And the
it's
crawfish,
so
and the
good.
crawfish.
The crawfish too,
man.
so good.
No, Amy.
Yeah.
Look, Amy's got a white girl stomach. It's an established fact between us. And here she's got a white girl stomach, so like her eyes get real big and she eats the thing and it makes her sick. So then that scares her off into everything. She's scared
yeah,
of oysters.
for me, like I have to my diet should consist of mashed potatoes and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like that's all I
By
should
the way,
ever eat.
no shame in that. No shame in that. That's where, again, Carlos will deem it food provocateur, and I will tell you, no, I'm just a food truther. Like the truth of the matter is, the McRib is a delicious sandwich. And everyone's sending out these memes, when I sing the praises of the McRib, everyone
no.
sends me that same TikTok, which is, they're taking this plank of frozen pork and they're just dropping it in a vat of sauce. And supposedly, that's supposed to scare me away from the McRib. It just makes it look more delicious. Like, let's open our eyes to the truths of food. The McRib is a delicious sandwich. Sure, it's a plank of frozen pork drenched in a sweet, tangy sauce on a bun. It's delicious. Let's enjoy it.
Mark, I think what you're describing is a meat Jello mold. It's a savory set Jello mold is what the McRib is.
I still have some work to do with Carlos, obviously. He's not ready to open his eyes. It's kind of like the Matrix. Like, it's kind of like the food Matrix. You don't really know what the truth is. You've been told what
You've
the
been
truth
programmed.
is.
I haven't taken the red
and
pill.
I'm
I need
trying
to take the red
I'm trying
pill.
to deprogram you.
Okay,
the food
Mark,
red pill. So
program
can I
us
just say,
about pizza now.
Well,
Talk to
I was
us
gonna
about
s-
the Chicago deep dish pizza.
I was gonna say the thing that I like about Mark's show, which is it's 5:60 and 7:90 in the morning or in the afternoons. I'm sorry, the drive time, is that he doesn't just keep it about sports. He brings all of these takes in, all of these things that are pop culture and about food, and it's frankly why he's on our radar. And one of the things that Amy just mentioned, you have a hot take on pizza. Like in your view, the best pizza is.
Well, I'll tell you, there's kind of two tentacles to this. So I grew up in Chicago, so I'm a deep dish
okay.
pizza
Already,
guy, so.
already you're going to be disqualified, but okay.
So deep dish pizza is the premier pizza in the world. World, it's not even up for debate. In fact, New York pizza, when I do the listing of the best pizzas, New York pizza is probably 5th or 6th on the list. Doesn't mean that I don't enjoy a good New York slice every now and then.
Oh, boy.
But if you're going to eat thin pizza, because you can't get real good deep dish pizza in South Florida, if you're going to eat thin pizza, the best way to eat it is square cut and not triangular cut.
Oh, my
and you have to ask the pizza place, hey, can you square cut it? Some people call it tavern cut. But the square cut pizza is the premier way to eat a slice of thin pizza. I'm telling you, game changer.
Mike,
Wait,
Mark,
when
Mark,
you say
listen,
thin
listen,
pizza-
listen, Mark. Deep dish pizza is a pie. Change my mind. It's a savory pie. Change my mind. It's a tomato pie. It's a
lot of
tomato
people
and
will
cheese
say,
pie.
a lot of people
no,
say
it's a cheese
it's
pie.
a
It's a cheese
casserole.
pie with a tomato.
It's a what?
Tomato drizzle.
A lot of people will say it's a casserole.
It's a casserole. It's a pie, but it's got
It's
a
a
crust.
pot pie.
It's a pie.
It's like a pot pie.
It's
a pot
not
pie.
a pot pie because I think a pot pie would have a
has a
crispy
t-
covering.
Yeah, that's true.
I honestly believe that, again, it scares people. I'm a food truther. It scares people. But a good slice of deep dish pizza is pizza, right? Mozzarella, tomato sauce, crust. It's just brought to you on a whole different level. You sit down in Chicago, eat a delicious deep dish pizza, Lou Malnati's, Giordano's, Uno Due. It will by far be the superior slice of pizza that you can get in a moment. Now look, I get it. You're walking down the street in New York, you stop into Original Reyes, you fold it up, you eat it. I'm good with that. I like New York pizza. But if we're talking about what is the best pizza, what's the premier pizza, it's Chicago deep dish pizza. And I would say probably, shockingly, a close second might be Detroit style pizza.
I was going to mention the best pizza in America is probably Buddy's Pizza, which is the pizza place in Detroit, Michigan. And that pizza is so good because it is that square tavern style that you were discussing. And it's almost like a piece of focaccia with stuff on top of it. And the crust is just basically like the burnt edges with like cheese pieces kind of stuck to the side. And it's just the greatest pizza
Amy,
on the planet.
I have heard you describe Buddy's Pizza alternately as both the best and the worst pizza. So
Well, it
like,
could be-
I have
it-
literally heard you say this pizza will kill you. Also, it's terrible, and it's my favorite pizza. Also, my stomach is a white girl stomach, and I don't like.
I can handle Buddy's Pizza. I feel like it's one of those things you have to be raised on in order to like build up a tolerance for it. But Buddy's Pizza is, in my humble opinion, the world's greatest pizza.
Detroit pizza is delicious because it's got that burnt cheese crust, and that's like
and because it's
that's
like
what makes
so
it
much
good.
bread, it's like
Yep.
this thick, you know.
There's a Miami place that actually opened a physical store, but they started doing something during the pandemic called Old Greg's Pizza, and they were selling square pizza, and it became like a thing. Like square pizza last year had a little bit of a rebirth. Like there was a guy named he goes by the name Jeremiah Bullfrog. I don't know what his real name is, but he gets real upset if you ask him his real name.
Sounds like an alias.
But that guy started like a Detroit style pizza, and this guy Greg Tetzner, I think is his last name, has started selling the square style pizza, and people really liked it. And I think it's fine, but like square pizza, you can have one piece of pizza and then you have to take a nap.
But
That's how that
understand,
works.
here's what I'm
Oh
saying.
no,
I don't
no,
want
you
you.
can
I don't
have
want
two
you
and a
to.
half and then you hate yourself. That's how
I don't want you
square
to
pizza works.
confuse square pizza. Sometimes it's called, Sicilian pizza or Detroit style. I don't want you to confuse that with a regular pizza that you would get from wherever you order pizzas. I'm in Boca. I'll order from Tommaso's. I'll order from Cannoli Kitchen. And it's just a regular, round, thin pizza. But I ask them to square cut it instead of the traditional triangular cut. So I don't want you to confuse a square cut pizza with like a Detroit
Well, wait a
style
minute,
or
wait a
Sicilian
minute, Mark.
style.
No,
That's-
See, what
no,
you're
see,
doing
that's-
is you're
that's-
removing the crust from parts of the pizza.
That is correct.
So
Mark,
why?
this pizza is perfect for anyone under the age of 4. Like
I'm
it's a-
telling
it's a
you.
kids' party pizza. That's
In Chicago,
the only
I never-
acceptable time to do that.
I never
to a pizza,
had
Mark.
I never had a triangular cut slice of pizza until I moved to Miami in 1987.
You've been
in
hurt.
Chicago.
You've been deeply hurt.
Any pizza that you get delivered to your house or that you get while you're out is square cut, tavern cut.
So
And-
wait a minute, it's a round pizza.
Correct.
Cut
Cut.
chaotically into
It's not
into a grid.
chaotically. It's not chaotic.
It's chaotic.
It is very
Mark.
geometric.
Oh,
it is not
Mark.
chaotic at all.
No,
It is
because
very geometric.
Then it's like a brownie where you kind of you'll have people that want no crust on the brownie and no crust on the pizza. Somebody just gets a wedge in the middle with a thin crust, and that's just wrong.
Common
That's wrong.
argument from people that go square cut, oh, you're going to have slices that have no crust. If you have a triangular slice of pizza, you're way down here with no crust. You're up here with some crust. So you're saying, oh, this slice has crust, but there's all this landscape that has no crust. You're kind of taking out the middleman when
Yeah,
you
but
do a
no,
square cut
you're
pizza.
ruining the journey to the crust.
No, he's
like that is
ruining-
what.
This is why he's a food provocateur, Amy.
This is it.
he's a
I'm
food
serious.
Truths here. I'm
Listen,
speaking truths here.
can we-
This is a
you
strange
mention-
opinion because first of all, it's easy. The crust is kind of the handle of the pizza, so that's where you put your hands to keep the balance. You can fold it so that like the weight of the grease and the cheese doesn't like turn it into like a drooping banana. but the crust provides the leverage, and this is an important part of the consumption of pizza.
And when you take a slice of pizza, that's one of the middle squares in a square cut pizza.
Oh, I'm
that
gonna
doesn't
throw up
have
in
any
my mouth.
crust.
I'm gonna throw
and
up
you
in my
take
mouth.
that first bite, and you know you're just in pizza heaven because you're in the best part of the pizza: the sauce, the tomato, the cheese, and you've got the crust on the bottom. Obviously, it's a game changer. It's a
That's
life
revolting.
changer. And trust me, once you start getting square cut pizza, you probably will never go back to triangular cut unless forced to.
No, I think we got to change the subject because it's starting to. I haven't eaten breakfast yet,
Yeah,
and it's starting to make
this
my stomach leak.
fasting is not working out for us.
The crustless pizza. Yeah, Amy and I are in an intermittent fast. So, but of course, I ate at midnight last night, so now I can't eat till like 3
Tomorrow.
o'clock on Saturday.
So you can't eat till
basically.
tomorrow.
I can't eat till Saturday. I think is how that works. But Mark agrees with me because he's a good food provocateur. That the uncrustable, o sea, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich whose edges have been crimped, is the missing link that gets people
The
from
Uncrustable
the
is-
sandwich to embrace an empanada as a sandwich because
The
that's what it
Uncrustable
is.
is the gringo empanada. That
Yes.
is the definition of the Uncrustable.
I love it. So, as you know, I have embraced Carlos's title, food provocateur or bad food take provocateur. But he is right. It is technically an empanada. And if you want to, the way that I'm going to use that is have friends over, watch party. It's maybe an Inter Miami game or, Marlins game, Heat game. And say, hey, come over, bring your appetite because I'm serving empanadas. And everybody's going to be all excited, going to plop an Uncrustable down in front of them at the party, solidify myself as a food tour, but also be able to relax in the notion that I am indeed serving empanadas.
This
Just not your
fills me with
typical
so much
empanada.
joy. I would love to be in that room. I would
Oh
love
my
to
God.
do that and just
What if
watch
he-
people's faces and just kind of like,
Yeah, 100%
I don't
doing
understand.
it. 100%
Mark,
doing
what
it.
if you deep
That's
fried
happening.
them or baked them? Oh my God.
Oh,
my
deep
watch
fried.
God.
Deep
You guys ever
fried.
watch? You guys ever watch there's a guy on Instagram and TikTok. His name is Cuisine Meals by Cuisine.
I don't watch anything on Instagram, but
Oh
tell us.
my God! Watch this dude. But he made the other day just white bread, put some mozzarella in it, maybe some burrata, and then crimped it on the white bread. Crimped it, then coated it almost like a French toast. Battered it, deep fried it. And it was the greatest looking thing. You just happened to talk about the crimping of the edges.
Oh, it's a ravioli. He made a ravioli.
He said, crimp it in the style of a fried ravioli.
And which is why a ravioli is a sandwich.
It's a sandwich. That's
Is a
sandwich.
ravioli an empanada?
Which is a sandwich.
It's a tiny empanada.
It's
Right.
a tiny empanada.
So if I go to an Italian restaurant, I could ask for, let's say, a bowl of empanadas.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
That's,
theoretically asking for ravioli.
that's exactly what you're asking.
I'm in. You got no argument out of me.
Perfect. This is a man. This is a man who really understands what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to expand the vocabulary of food.
Well, Carlos has had a long-running debate on social media about what constitutes a sandwich. And there are, there's
There
a
are
lot
non-believers
of
out there.
there's a lot of sandwich truthers out there. It all boils down to, it starts with, is a hot dog a sandwich, right? Isn't that where the is a sandwich argument begins?
Right. That's like the first. That's the first. Like when you start questioning God. That's the first. the first one. Like, wait. Oh my God. All this time has a hot dog been a sandwich? So that's
It's bread around meat, and I
That's the
eat it with
gateway.
my hands. How is this not a sandwich?
it's a sandwich. So like replace the dog with like shaved meat, and it's cheesesteak, right? And that's a sandwich. We all agree that's a sandwich,
Right.
Right.
What about, though, a quesadilla?
That's a
okay, so
sandwich.
quesadilla
That
is
is
a sandwich.
totally a sandwich.
A burrito?
Absolutely sandwich. A burrito's a
Sandwich.
sandwich. Yeah.
Sandwich.
Burrito's a sandwich.
A burrito's a sandwich. Yeah, absolutely. A burrito. A dumpling. Deep.
An
pan-fried
arepa?
Dumpling is a sandwich.
Arepa's a sandwich?
Yes, it's all wrapped around, and you bite right in. And arepa.
Is an ice cream sandwich a traditional sandwich?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it's
it's
not
a-
bread.
Yeah.
It's a
cookie.
dessert sandwich. No, that's fine.
It's
a
two
dessert
carbs
sandwich.
surrounding some kind of a thing.
No, all right. I'll go by that definition.
Mark,
if
a
it's two
pastelito.
carbs.
A pastelito is a sandwich. You know, a Cuban pastelito.
Pastelito is a sandwich.
Yeah.
Because it's got
bread.
filling?
Yes, it's not. Well, they make the layer, they put the guava in it, say, and then more layers, and
Right.
they actually the guava is sandwiched inside.
Interesting. So is it
it's in the name.
Twinkie? Is a Twinkie a sandwich?
Yeah, it's a little cream filled sandwich.
It's a
It's a
sandwich.
little
Jesus,
cream-filled
yes,
dessert
a
sandwich.
Twinkie's a
We've gone a
sandwich.
little. I think we've lost the plot here.
Welcome
We
to
may
the
have lost
Church
the
of
plot.
Sandwichology, Mark. This is
So,
this
Mark,
is what we
did
do here.
you start doing that YouTube show with your son so that you could indoctrinate him into your bad food takes?
So we have a YouTube show called Hochman's Food Court, and it was a little play on the words food court. But my son and I would go to 5 different fast food places and then render verdicts in the food court on who has the best fries. And it wasn't to indoctrinate him; it was to show that people frown on kitschy, pop culture-y, fast food items. Everyone, and I'm sure, Carlos, when you're writing about food, it's generally upscale, right? That's what people expect from food coverage in the media. And I kind of wanted to do something, and my son's the same way, where we were, having the same serious conversation about food, but it wasn't about who has the best stone crab or who makes the best rice pilaf. It was who's got the best French fries, who's got the best hash browns, who's got the best chocolate-covered donuts. And so that was really the impetus behind it, because I love food arguments, I love food conversations, but I would much prefer to talk about again, the McRib, the Shamrock Shake, they used to have the potato cakes at Arby's. They got rid of those. Curly
The
fries
potato
versus
cakes,
crinkle
yeah.
cut fries versus steak fries, which, by the way, steak fries are always the absolute worst. That is garbage. Steak fries. Anybody that tells you steak fries are a preferable way to fry a
Wait,
potato.
define a
wait,
steak
you
fry.
can't-
What are
you
steak
can't-
fries?
Steak fries are thick cut fries. Like, how can you like a potato cake and not like a steak fry? It's just
Because
a
it's
little
more like a
potato
hash
cake.
brown. It's more
It's
like
a
a hash
little-
brown. It's got more like
Okay.
a coating. It doesn't.
Okay.
The potato cake and a
which
hash
is
brown.
which is a fantastic food item. The potato cake. Let's-
Correct.
Okay.
It doesn't pretend to be a French fry.
Okay.
The steak fry, it's really like a quarter of a baked potato, and it's pretending to be a French fry. You're not fooling me.
No, Mark.
Steak fry guy.
See, steak fries are for skinny people to say, "Oh, I'm only going to eat one fry."
I'm having 2 fries.
And it's
yeah.
like 6 fries. One
Yeah.
steak fry is like 6 fries, which I'm totally fine with. But just be honest with what you're doing. Oh, I'm just going to eat this one 7-ounce fry.
But I
So-
think are we all in agreement? The best fast food fry. So this shocked me, and I don't know if Miami.com or Miami Herald has sponsors. I love all fast food, and the same thing with the radio stations. We talk about food. There's always I might love an item at a particular place and maybe not care for another item at a particular place. Doesn't mean I don't love the place. Can we all agree McDonald's is the best fast food French fry?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
100%.
Hand-
100%.
Like fast food French fry, and a lot of independent restaurants would kill to be able to make a fry that good.
Yeah.
Because there's honestly a lot of testing over the years that went into making that fry just that way. And back in the day, they used to fry it in oil that was less good for you,
Correct.
or more bad, worse for you, and they were more delicious. And and we've talked them out of being more delicious, but we've guilted them into being less delicious. But you're right. I mean, nobody.
But how do
can
you
beat
guys
those
do that?
fries.
How do you guys do that? Eat 5 different items from 5 different places in one day? Because Carlos and I did a tour of Miami's croqueta providers, finding the best croquetas in Miami once, and we literally we wanted to die.
Amy's
at the
white
end
girl
of the
stomach.
day.
She needed a stomach
Oh, no.
transplant.
At
After
one
it's,
point, oh my God! At one point, I said to Carlos, "Can we just stop here and like eat a salad?" Like I was like,
No, I was like,
Yeah.
dig deep,
You-
dig deep. This is what separates like the good from
the
the
boys
great.
from the men.
That's right. This
you're
is where
at
you
your,
become a champion, right?
When you're at your 7th place and you're
I was
having
like, no,
another
I need
chocolate
something
frosted
green.
donut, yeah, you're
Mark,
questioning every decision that you've made. Yeah, it's
Mark,
not
she
the-
ordered a salad. She's like, I need something green
Just
before
to- Yeah,
we
the
were-
next croqueta. Her
We
body
were at-
was
at-
shutting down.
What's it called? Doce Provisiones or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
The-
Dulce Provisions. It's on 12th Street.
Dude, I was like, I need a salad. I need something green because the fritura to like to salad balance is out of whack at this point.
Yeah, poor thing, man. She was really suffering. She really
Mark,
suffered.
do you
give
have
you
the
art.
white girl stomach, or can you go a whole day with with 5 different types of fried food?
Oh, I can go
come
a
on.
month on McRibs and Shamrock Shakes.
He went to the
and,
University of Miami, Amy. He can live on he can just eat out of the dumpster and he'll
So that was
survive.
my when I got to University of Miami in 1987. That was my first introduction to croquetas. It was in the I lived in Pearson Hall, which is still there, Pearson and Mahoney, and I went down to the cafeteria. It was attached to Pearson or just across the driveway, and they had these things called what I thought were croquettes, and they kind of look almost like a mozzarella stick, at the cafeteria. That was my first taste ever of a croqueta. I'd never even heard of them. Back in '87, I don't even think they were available anywhere outside of a Miami or South Florida.
And look,
But
how,
yeah,
well
that
you,
was
and
my,
look how well you pronounce them. Look how well
Yeah.
you pronounce that. Say that
I
again.
studied Spanish for a long time. Long time.
You know, I had never seen a mango in person until I went to the Dominican Republic. Like, I had never actually seen, held
My
the actual
wife
fruit.
I like this
Love
episode. This is like inside
mango.
the minds of white people.
That's
Yeah.
right.
White people in Miami. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
My
But
wife
your
and-
wife,
loves
she loves
mango, and the neighbor has a mango tree, and he knows to once they're falling off and ripe, bring them right over to Lori Hochman.
If your neighbor has a mango tree, you have a mango tree. That's how that works in Miami.
Yeah, you're 100% correct.
That's really how that works.
When I
You're
went to the
100%
Dominican Republic, I had a mango, like a smoothie, and they put milk in it, and it was delicious. And I had to run to the bathroom.
see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking like Amy is ready to die for food. We'll die for food, man. And
Oh,
now, Mark,
I'll listen. I'll keel over. My we always get excited. My son likes a Shamrock Shake. He is so it's this time of year that McDonald's, they bring them out the end of February, runs a little bit past St. Patrick's Day. And now that I'm 52 years old, so he'll say to me sometime, be 11:30 at night, hey, let's make a Shamrock Shake run. And so we'll go to
Awesome.
McDonald's, and I'll tell you, you're a 52-year-old man, and you drink a Shamrock Shake
No.
11:30, 12 at night.
No.
I mean, but much like Amy, I will die for the love of food because, I am keeled over, but smiling at the same time. I am in intense
Oh, this
abdominal pain,
totally
but
worth
smiling.
it. You know what?
smiling,
But how
thinking
much of that
we'll do it
element-
again tomorrow night.
How much of that element is being able to that your kid is still at that age where he's
The best.
let's go do this thing together.
Oh, yeah, for
you know?
sure, right?
The best. Yeah, well, he's going off to college next year. So anytime he wants to go, he can wake me at 3 a.m. If he wants to go get a Shamrock Shake, I am in.
You know, my oldest daughter is a freshman in college now at the University of Florida, Legacy, like her father and her mom, and she came back to Gainesville. She came back from Gainesville this week, and she's like, Dad, I have some requests. There were certain foods that she wanted, and it's like, I want to go get this food, and I want to go to the bookstore like we used to, and I want to go to the park and read, and she almost regressed, she appreciated all these
That's
parent
cool.
kid moments,
You know what I love about college and going to visit colleges? So this goes into my whole thing of food and kitschy food and pop culture food and being able to try stuff that you don't normally get. So up in Gainesville, and I've never been to Gainesville, but my radio partner obviously was a football player at Florida, Channing Crowder.
Very
but
good
they
one.
have a chicken place. What is it? It's not Zaxby's, which you can't really get down here. I think there's one in West Palm Beach by the outlet malls, but there's a Guthrie's in Gainesville. You heard of that, Carlos?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So these are the places that I like to go. So when we visited FSU with my son, there's a Whataburger at FSU. Well, Whataburger really is only in Dallas. There's some certain other areas.
California,
but
yeah, it's out west.
California, In-N-Out Burger, obviously, in California and Vegas. I go out there, and in fact, in my background here,
What do you got
that's
there?
a picture of me and my son at In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, that's awesome.
Certainly worth framing.
That's fantastic.
But I like going and visiting when I'm in an area. So some people will go, well, you're in Tampa. You've got to go to Burn's Steakhouse because that's the fancy restaurant, and then you've got to go to the dessert room. I go to Tampa, and I want to go to Portillo's. So Portillo's is a place that is, ubiquitous in Chicago and
Hot dogs, right?
in the Midwest. They have Italian beef sandwiches, burgers, Chicago-style hot dogs. They have an unbelievable lemon cake and chocolate cake, and it's fantastic. But there is a Portillo's in Tampa. And so when I travel, I always want to visit not the fanciest steakhouse, not the greatest seafood place. I want to go to In-N-Out Burger. I want to go to Whataburger. If I'm on a road trip, I want to visit Buc-ee's, one of the greatest convenience store / gas stations on the planet. There's another one called Sheetz, which I've never been to, and I think it's up in the Northeast. I want to visit a Sheetz. When Wawa came down here, my wife is from Philadelphia. Wawa was a religion for her growing up in Philly. So that's the kind of stuff that I like with food. Everybody wants to talk about the real high class, super expensive. And look, I'm down with it. You want to go to Prime Italian or Prime 112 or New York Prime up in Boca? I'm down with it. I'll go. I'm all about it. But I really enjoy the searching for a place, a burger place that, like Le Tub in Hollywood, right? You take someone here and it's just a burger joint. Like that's the kind of stuff that I love.
Let's
So what are
go
your-
in,
what are
go
your-
in, wait an hour and a half to get a really good burger. Maybe the staff will decide to bring it to you. They'll be like, "Here's your burger."
Not the friendliest.
Not the friendly, but
Well, wait a minute,
but
then
it's
what's your,
it's very
like-
island like very island inspired. Like here's we'll bring it to you when it's
Right.
ready.
Right.
You
We
know,
know
here
you're
it
there.
is. Yeah,
We know
here's
you're there.
here's another beer. Yeah.
What are your favorite local, just hangout spots to go to? Like what restaurants would you like? What is your Mount Rushmore of normal people food in Miami?
You got a Mount Rushmore. I know you got a Mount
question.
Rushmore for us.
Yeah, just
that
like
one or
normal,
the-
Great
regular.
question. I didn't put much thought into that. I really should. So
Well, let's call it like weekday food, like food that you would eat during the weekday when
just
you don't.
going out with the
Yeah.
with the wife and grabbing a bite.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Oh,
a
put
that's
him on the spot. Look
that's
at that. We
no, but that's a good one. And you don't want me to mention like a chain spot?
You
It
can
doesn't matter.
anything. It
Whatever
doesn't
you
matter.
want.
Because
No.
I'll tell you, for me, a go-to, and here's people are going to consider this to be a food provocateur take. Cheesecake Factory, for me, dollar for dollar, menu item for menu item. You can't tell me you've ever had a bad meal at Cheesecake Factory. You can't.
Yeah, you know what? Because Cheesecake Factory. You know what's
Has-
funny is one of the best chefs that I know, and again, and you can tell from this conversation that I'm down with the people's food. Like I love that there was a KFC in Hialeah that was the only place in the world that made its own flan, like in house. Like I love stories like that. And there's a chef that's really, honestly, easily one of the best in Florida, maybe one of the best in the country. His name is Clay Conley, and he owns this restaurant in Palm Beach called Bucan. But that guy started at a cheesecake factory, and he's like, and the thing I learned there is that every dish is identical. Like every time you make a pot sticker plate, it is identical. It tastes identical. It's the same temperature. The kitchen moves like a well-oiled machine. And nobody that is like a serious restaurateur will tell you that a Cheesecake Factory, or especially a Houston's, does not know like how to keep their stuff together, man.
No,
They
how to please
really
their
know,
audience. They know what they're
really
doing.
know how to run a restaurant.
I love a restaurant like Houston's that has the kitchen completely visible when you walk in. And the Houston's on Glade Road in Boca. I mean, the kitchen, right when you walk in, you watch them work, and it is, like you say, a well-oiled machine. That's a great call. Houston's, man, people sleep on Houston's. That is, I mean, everyone knows the spinach dip there is fantastic, but, I mean, a rack of ribs at Houston's, a burger at Houston's, that's good eating right there. But I love Cheesecake Factory, too. There's an Italian restaurant in Pompano we like called Cafe La Buca. We enjoy that as a family. I will tell you the reason was Ryan Sense from Funky Buddha Brewery, who you guys had on, who took a shot at me. In all honesty, the food at Funky Buddha's Tap Room in Oakland
great.
Park is phenomenal. Phenomenal. You know, people think I hadn't gone there, and Funky Buddha's a good partner with the radio show, as much as I may dislike Ryan and his brother KC. They're very good partners. But I really thought, you know, oh, it's a tap room, you know, it's going to be a lot of beer swilling, and maybe you'll get a bowl of peanuts somewhere on the counter. And it is a full service, fully functional restaurant. And I have to tell you, for someone who's never been to Funky Buddha, they have menu items that are out of this world. It's a great casual place. I love Funky Buddha.
Well, you know what? This morning, Ryan sensed, because he knew that we were going to be talking. He was texting me. You know, we were talking trash, and you were on that text string, and he mentioned that that the yucca tots, which you really like, are not on that menu, and he knew that the reason they didn't have yucca is because there was some kind of drought in Costa Rica, and the yucca was extra dry or something, and it made the yucca balls like explode like napalm when you tried to fry them. But I'm saying is Ryan is the kind of guy that, like, just as he's obsessive about creating something special with his beer, you can see how that would extrapolate to what he expects out of the food to be.
100%. And so the first time I had eaten there, they had these yucca tots, and I've never been a huge fan of yucca, like, you know, just boiled yucca, mushy yucca.
Oh, you ain't had
not
it
my
right.
thing.
You ain't had it right, but okay.
I will
I
tell
was
you.
gonna say you haven't had the right mojo. That's
Well,
the
I will.
problem.
I will tell you that Pollo Tropical, if I can
look
give you
at
the
that.
proper pronunciation.
That was
Carl.
amazing.
Tight.
Pollo Tropical has fried yucca, and it's really like just almost like a French fry, much thicker yucca French fry,
It's a
which I
steak French
kind of
fry.
like, and it is kind of like a steak fry, and I kind of like it. And then I got to Funky Buddha, and I don't know what caused them to bring us out a platter of the yucca tots. Game changer. And this was maybe 5-6 years ago. And I talked about these yucca tots on the air for weeks, months, then years. And I just found out that, they don't have them right now on the menu.
If you want
as
yucca
Carlos
tots,
mentioned.
we just went to Chug's Diner yesterday, and those yucca tots are legit. And the sauce
It's
is
funny.
good too.
I mentioned that to him earlier on the text because
Really good.
We both had them and we were like, "This was
Yes.
excellent! Like
This
real
is-
thin
this
and
is-
crispy on the outside and
Yeah.
the
like
inside,
gooey on the
I
inside,
think there
and
might
then
have
the
been
sauce
cheese,
was citrusy.
some kind of cheese sauce or something mixed into it because it was real kind of creamy. It was nice.
It wasn't
man.
like it was super creamy. It wasn't like they chopped up yucca and just fried it. It was like a mush.
There was some chefiness.
There was some
behind
real
that.
chefiness going on in there.
But I'll tell you, again, food take provocateur, and I know in a Hispanic area like this, I don't know what the reaction is when I say that I really enjoy Pollo Tropical. Like, I mean,
Oh,
you get
dude,
some,
no.
No one
forget
argues
it.
with you. No
you
one
get
argues
some
with
Forget
you.
drop
it.
chops, right? Some,
no one's gonna argue
Pollo
with you.
Tropical is
chops with
legit.
You know what?
If
It's-
As
even
long
though
as long as because that Pollo Tropical, that's like another. So when I say I go to Tampa and I want to visit Portillo's, and when I go to LA, I want to go to In-N-Out Burger. You know, people that come to Miami, they should want to stop at
At
Pollo
Pollo
Tropical
Tropical.
At Pollo
because
Tropical?
they don't have that around the country. I think they have it in Orlando. I think they call it tropical chicken. They even gringoize it more up in
yeah.
Orlando.
That
It's
hurts
called
me.
tropical chicken. Yeah.
That
I
hurts me a
feel
little
bad
bit.
for the Midwest that they don't have Pollo Tropical. Like, I feel like that's something that they should have because it's actually one of
imagine
those.
what
It's
will
one of
it
those
do
fast
to
food
their
places where you can get your whole family fed for
Yes.
like $30, and it's not like garbage food. It's not like fried food or like it doesn't feel super
You ever
processed.
you ever go to Chicken Kitchen down here in South Florida?
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
to Chicken Kitchen. My
Chicken
white
Kitchen.
girl stomach doesn't like.
See, I think Chicken Kitchen is a superior version of Pollo Tropical.
It is. Believe it or not, it is.
No.
Now, I don't think they have black beans at Chicken Kitchen. Maybe they do. But I prefer the Tropa Chops at Pollo Tropical because of the black beans. But at Chicken Kitchen, yellow rice, the original chop, if you will, their mustard curry sauce is the premier sauce for any chicken dipping in South Florida and maybe the world.
Wow, he's spoken.
Wow.
The
You
food
have- I was gonna
provocateur has
say-
spoken.
But I will
I
tell
was
you this.
gonna say that
There was one
my
in
white
Boca.
girls.
There was one in Boca, and it closed. It was dirty. It was filthy dirty. I still went there because I don't
No,
care.
my
I
white
like
girl's
the-
stomach has
I
had
like the
issues with
original
the
Chop.
chicken kitchen in the past, and I think it was because of the sauce.
Amy, but that's
Oh, the
that's why
mustard
Pollo
curry.
Tropical is in the Midwest, because they got Midwest white girl stomachs, and you will kill half of
Dude.
America. It's like giving them COVID. Like you will give them
You take
white
them
girl
out in
stomach.
one fell swoop.
WGS. They got WGS 2022. You know, 22.
We all need to go into lockdown and eat Uncrustables and nothing else.
Just eat Uncrustables to bring yourself back to life.
Tell you what, man. Pollo Tropical, though, people sleep on that. I mean, you have that, that's one of those South Florida things where you go, wow, there's a Pollo Tropical within 5 miles of wherever you are. What a delight. What a treat.
What
Mark,
a
listen, let's-
place to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Let's settle this, because you're a man after my own heart, and I'm really going to judge you on this one. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, see.
Now,
Well, it was nice having you on, Mark.
If I was at a party
Take 'em off.
and they had ordered, Hawaiian pizza and it was there, I might have a slice. But I say this on the radio show with Crowder and Solano all the time. I always go, a little too cutesy. Everything nowadays, everybody wants to get a little too cutesy. Even the GPS, I'm trying to get to this place. All of a sudden, I'm on a side road to save 14 seconds. And I go, the GPS, I wish there was a no cutesy button. And just get me where I'm going. If it's going to save 3 minutes, but it's taking me off the main road, not interested. Don't get cutesy. That's what happens with the pineapple pizza. Everybody wants to get a little cutesy. Oh, I eat pizza in a way that you don't know how, and I put pineapple on it. Let's be honest.
If they
pineapple
outlawed-
doesn't belong. Pineapple doesn't belong on
If
pizza.
they outlawed pineapple on pizza, I would be under a bridge with a can of pineapple, like grilling it over the fire in like a fire I've created. out
you're
of
telling me
trash,
that's one of your
putting it-
5 top
putting it on
ways
pizza.
to order pizza is to have
Yes.
pineapple on it?
Especially if they do something to the pineapple first, like they grill it,
Like
and
throw
it's
it in the
got-
garbage?
and it's got like
I mean, ridiculous. It's a ridiculous take. First of all, we all
Listen.
know a pepperoni pizza is the preferred way to order a pizza. We can all get cutesy, and that's fine. But if you want the standard pizza, how it's supposed to be delivered, cheese, pepperoni, and well done. Little life hack for you.
And
Always order your
crust.
pizza well done.
I've had the
square
best
cut.
pizza I've ever made, and no commentary as I go through it is grill the pineapple, red onions, like a salami, like a small Italian salami cut real thin all over it, little shaved garlic, and then some fresh grated mozz over the top. That's the best pizza.
Do you think
there
you're
is.
doing that? I think you're doing it because you're a food editor.
No.
I think you're trying. I think you're trying to. You're trying to live up to your moniker.
I want
right?
more,
So
Mark.
I'm
I want
I'm
more.
a food editor. I can't just have a pepperoni pizza like normal people. So I've got to do this and that. And I got to sprinkle and I got to drizzle and I got let's call it what it is. You're eating an inferior pizza because you think you should be, because you've got the title of food editor.
Listen,
I'm here to wake you up.
He just called
Wake
you a
up.
snob, Carlos.
No,
Wake
no.
up.
Listen, you
Wake
don't
up.
understand that once you do this job, like you have pepperoni on pizza. It's kind of like, and then after pepperoni, you're like, oh, what about if I put a kind of salami on there? What if I put a chorizo? It's
What
a
if I
little
put
bit like
prosciutto
it's a
and arugula?
prosciutto and arugula.
now I'm eating a
It's-
salad.
It's a little bit like drug use. Like before you know it, you're tying
isn't that
rubber around
pretty
your
slow?
arm, and you're like
Isn't-
pineapple and red onion. and,
Isn't that always
sweet.
the question, though, right? If you have an item, a dish that you love at a restaurant, and you go to that restaurant, do you try new things because, I want to see what else is here? I'm tired. I go to Cheesecake Factory, I get the crusted chicken Romano almost every time. And then you get there and you go, okay, should I try something new because I've had the crusted chicken Romano? Or do you say, hey, you know what? I know what I like. Pepperoni pizza is the example. I know what I like. Why should I start dilly-dallying around with a whole bunch of other stuff? Maybe I'm going to like it, maybe I'm not. I know that I like the pepperoni pizza. I know I like the crusted chicken Romano. Like, isn't that question?
Carlos, I think I kind of agree with Mark on all topics today.
Because you two are two white people from the Midwest. That's what you do. And look, I'm actually okay. I'm actually okay with going to the restaurant and getting the thing that you like at that restaurant. I am actually a proponent of go to different restaurants. You know what I mean? And find your one item at a different place. Like every Thursday, like for too many Thursdays, I go to this bar by my house. It's a craft beer bar where they do serve Funky Buddha. Not that they sponsor us, though they should. We've mentioned them so much on this show. And they have there's this one guy who makes these pan con bistec there. And I love the pan con bistec. It's only on a Thursday. That's what I get when I go there. So like I'm okay with that, but like on a different Thursday, maybe I'll go to a different restaurant and I'll figure out. So that's my theory on that. It's okay to like one.
That's my go-to at any Cuban restaurant. If I go to a Cuban restaurant, pan con bistec that's what I get. Again, I know I like it. So should I go outside the box and get
that's
ropa
the way I
vieja
feel about my
just
Sunday
because?
brunch.
No.
People are like, oh, let's go do brunch over here, over there. I like to go to brunch the same place every Sunday,
Deli
get the
Lane.
same waitress and
Mimosa.
the same table and get the same $6 mimosas. I get the Southwestern huevitos, and everything is cool because I have been to other places in Miami where they're trying to tell me that their brunch is great, but like I like the way
You know
Deli
what
Lane.
you like.
I like the way Deli Lane does their Southwestern huevitos, and I know that their mimosas are good, and I know Jenny's gonna treat me right. So why would I do anything else? Like,
How about this? We had this conversation on the air yesterday. We do a segment called Talk About It, where Alejandro Solana, who's our executive producer, he brings up a topic. And this had happened to him over the weekend. I'm curious what your guys' take is on this. You go to a restaurant, and you're with your wife, husband, significant other. And it has to be someone that you've been with for a long time, not someone that, not a first date or second date. They order something, and you want to order the same entree. Is that a no-no? Where we gave the example, like Solana was at a restaurant with his girlfriend. He said, I'm going to get whatever, the roasted chicken. And she said, I wanted to get that. And I've done the same thing. I'll go back to Cheesecake Factory. My wife loves the crusted chicken Romano as well. I'll say, what are you going to get? She says, I'm going to get the crusted chicken Romano. And I say, I was going to get that. Can you order the same entree when you're with your significant other at a restaurant, or do you find it kind of understood that the second person ordering has to order something else because it's crazy to bring two of the same entrees to the same table?
I am okay with the double order. I'm okay with that because if that's what everybody really likes, I actually think that it's better to split, like if you're both between two of the same dishes. That's when I think you can do that. You should do one and one. Like, I'm really between the roasted chicken and this. But if you both want the thing, get the thing. Like,
Well,
I
how
think,
about though?
listen, it
I'm
depends
okay
on
with
how
that.
much the entrees cost. Because if you've never had it before, if you know that it's good and you know that you want it, I would say everybody get it. But if you're at a new place, like if you're at like a place where she wants the T-bone steak and then he wants the veal, he wants the same thing, like get the veal, you get the T-bone steak, and then you guys can share because your entrees are going to be super expensive. You might as well just kind of diversify your like dining portfolio at that moment because you're about to spend a bunch of money.
But what if, your significant other, you go, I'm going to get the ribs. I'm at Houston. I'm going to get the ribs. And she just, says, and it's kind of understood, perfect, I'm going to get the French dip and we can share it. Well,
Wait,
it's very presumptuous. That's
wait
very
a minute.
presumptuous.
very presumptuous.
You never
Wait a
said
minute.
You've been with
You
her
She's
never
for
gonna
said-
get an
25 years.
appetizer
You hear
and-
that, Lori? You
It's,
hear that?
if you had also said I'm between the ribs and the French dip,
I'm not between anything. I
Then
want
it-
the damn ribs.
then you got to go. Then it's very presumptuous to say I'm going to eat half your ribs because
Well,
it's
wait
going
a
to be
minute,
half.
because the French dip, isn't that like an appetizer? That's not a meal. She's about to eat all your food.
French
It's
dip
with-
sandwich? No, that's
No,
Oh,
it's
okay,
a-
okay.
It's a big sandwich. And yeah.
Okay, okay.
not that anything's not a sandwich, but the French dip
Right,
is certainly a sandwich.
The
Yeah,
ribs are not a sandwich.
Well, they're sandwiched between two bones. Like if you had two bones and the meat in the middle.
So a rib is a sandwich.
Sure, it depends how it's served. So it could be
No,
a rib.
that's where Carlos goes off. He goes off the rails now.
You just don't eat the bread. You just that's a sandwich where you can't eat the bread.
Interesting.
No, basically a sandwich is just like it's a thing that it's an edible napkin. Basically, you're holding the thing. That's
So every meal, pretty much, you're having a sandwich, no
I'm
matter what
having
you're
a
eating.
sandwich.
Pancakes? Are
Mark,
pancakes a sandwich?
You can sandwich things in them, but they're not on their own a sandwich. There's got to be
Interesting.
another
All right.
ingredient. There's got to
Okay.
be another ingredient.
Very good.
Mark, I've heard you go on the radio talk about this more than once. Sprinkles on ice cream. My now 14-year-old likes sprinkles. She likes sprinkles on her thing. Can an
Time to
adult?
start weaning her.
Can an
14, it's time to
adult-
start weaning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can a 21-year-old man
No.
walk into a Cold Stone
No.
and say, I would like sprinkles on that?
Absolutely not. And here's why. I'm glad you brought this up, Carlos. This is very important to me. To me, the cutoff is really 12 or 13 on sprinkles. Sprinkles don't add anything to ice cream. They're purely decorative, right? They're purely decorative. They're made in rainbow colors. They aren't flavorful. They're wax. I don't think sprinkles have any kind of intrinsic flavor. They're literally to let kids go, hey, look how fun and exciting this ice cream is. It's got rainbow sprinkles. And by the way, Midwest guy, sprinkles. Again, my wife's from Philly. She calls them Jimmies. Everybody up in the Northeast calls them Jimmies.
No
It's
one
not
knows what
Jimmies.
that is. No
I
one
know,
knows
it's
what
not,
that is.
Nobody
it's not
knows what that
Jimmies.
is.
They're sprinkles, but they're you go up to Philly or New York or Boston and say ice cream with sprinkles. They don't know what you're talking about. They'll say Jimmies, but rainbow sprinkles, chocolate sprinkles, they don't add anything. They don't add any flavor. The texture that they add actually takes away from the texture of the ice cream, which is the greatest part of the ice cream, right? You want a
creaminess.
silky, smooth, creamy ice cream. All of a sudden, you're going to put, road tax in it for no
I think
no
that
particular
any
reason.
adult
Broken
that
glass.
gets,
It's
yeah.
broken
And
glass.
So I would say, I would say definitively, with the utmost confidence, if you're an adult and you're saying at an ice cream place, I would like a scoop of ice cream with some rainbow sprinkles, you need to do a checkup from the neck up because something's wrong there.
It's
These
like
are
walking
for
in.
kids.
It's like walking around with a pacifier in your mouth. It's just.
Correct.
It's the same.
It's-
the same.
it's-
I think
it's
that
for
person is
kids.
probably a sociopath. I think
Yes.
Now,
there's
you
something.
want to put cheesecake bites in your ice cream? Knock yourself out.
Yep.
You want to put cookie dough bites in the ice
I think
cream?
if you want to put like some kind of almonds or nuts to make you feel like you're
Texture?
making it healthier.
No,
like,
healthier. No. No one eats ice cream thinking it's healthy.
Well, no.
We
if
have
you
a
put
discussion
if you put
about it.
almonds on it, you're
No.
like, yeah, almonds. Yeah,
Oh,
that
it's
makes
got
this,
fiber. No.
Yeah, nuts are
Yeah,
good for
but
you.
Sprinkles is that's been a pet project for me for a long time because I've really tried to change a lot of minds on something.
I really
listen,
think that this is a good endeavor.
Well, we all grow up and we're taught how great sprinkles are. You want sprinkles on that, right? It's said with that, you want
It's like
sprinkles. with
glitter.
that? You
It's
want
like putting
sprinkles with
glitter
that?
on paper.
It's like putting glitter on something. And if you are 11 years old and you're handing in a homework assignment and you want to put glitter on it because you're 11 years old, that's great. You're at work and you've got to put together your expense report and you want to put glitter on it? No. At some point, you got to cut off that behavior. And that's how I feel about sprinkles. At some point, you got to cut off the behavior. Carlos, you said your daughter's 14?
It's time. She's
Yeah,
past time.
you're
let's
2
get
years
her,
behind
uh,
schedule.
She's it's basically like still breastfeeding at like 5 years old.
Right,
She's past
exactly.
the-
You got to get around to maybe some Heath Bar Crunch, maybe some Bunch of Crunch. Let's move on.
Well, Mark, we're getting a little long in the tooth, but before we let you go, we want to let Amy give you a Mount Rushmore. So,
This is exciting. No one gives me Mount Rushmore.
Amy is our resident sports know nothing.
idiot.
She's our resident sports idiot. She's kind of like she's the Stugatz of food usually, but the amount of sports that she knows. Let's put it this way: she wasn't sure what position Dan Marino played with the Dolphins. So that said, Amy, this is Amy's Mount Rushmore of things that she remembers in sports.
Oh, I can't
My
wait.
vague
This is
sports
exciting.
memories. Okay, my first vague sports memory is Mary Lou Retton getting a 10 in the 1984 Olympics.
That's a great one.
That's a really good one. She did the full twisting Sukahara, and that was a very impressive vault for her. And
Tell the people, Amy. Were you a gymnast?
I was a gymnast, so that's why I care.
There you go.
Is
And
Carrie
then
Strug going to be on this list?
No,
What's that?
Only one
Carrie
gymnast.
Strug going to be on this
No, only
list?
one gymnast.
Oh, okay.
Only
And then
one. Only one abused sports athlete per Mount Rushmore.
Right.
So then my second vague sports memory is I remember a basketball player on the Pistons named Bill Laimbeer playing with a face mask on. Like, I remember that being a thing that happened when I was a child, and
Sure. Yeah, it
that
looked
was a very
Silence of the Lambs.
it was a very disturbing time for me to sit there while my brother watched sports ball on the TV and see him with this weird
growing up in
mask on.
Chicago, I hated Bill Laimbeer. He was the thorn in the side of the Bulls.
Everyone hated Bill Laimbeer if you weren't, unless you were from Detroit.
You're right.
He was the most despicable.
Well, I find him to be terrifying. I found him to be terrifying as a person who grew up in Detroit, watching him, and I think watching him win too. Like I pretty much, I vaguely recall the Pistons being good when I was a child.
He's like, would you like to play some basketball, Clarice?
And some
Okay, and my
Fabians.
third vague sports memory is that one time all of the Miami Heat fans ran out of the stadium when they were about to,
That's Stu
when they were
Gatz.
about to win.
You know, Stu Gatz is one of the guys that left the stadium during
Yeah.
that
Oh my
game.
gosh.
I know. I remember.
That must have
that's
been
right.
so embarrassing.
Famously, he left, and then the Heat came
wouldn't
back
let
and
anybody
had
back
the
in.
most. That was maybe and the thing is, the Heat comeback in that game and the Ray Allen get those effing ropes out of here is maybe one of the most iconic sports moments in Miami sports.
Quite possibly the most iconic sports moment, certainly in recent Miami history.
Well, I remember the fans being dorks and just leaving.
Yeah.
Like, that's my memory of it.
yeah.
And then my final sports memory that I vaguely remember is at some point in Tiger Woods' history, his wife started banging on his car with a golf club. And I think that was probably a very iconic moment for us all to remember.
4 great sports moments, Amy. I think you nailed the
Nailed
spirit
it.
of Mount Rushmore. Those are 4 great sports moments.
Before we let you go, we got it. We every week we play a little Kiss, Marry, Kill. So
All right.
we take 3 things that you love, and we force you to kill one of them, and we force you to marry the other one.
All right.
And you can kiss the third. This is our PG version.
I
So
can tell.
so let's do Kiss, Marry, Kill. I'm gonna make this up on the spot because I feel like you will get this. So let's say Publix chicken tender subs.
Publix chicken tender subs overrated, by the way.
Oh, okay. Deep dish Giordano's pizza
Deep dish Giordano's pizza.
and mild chicken wings.
So I would marry Giordano's deep dish pizza because I could spend the rest of my life with that.
Okay.
I will kiss the mild chicken wing. My Mount Rushmore, Amy, a famous segment on our radio show, my Mount Rushmore of chicken wing flavors: mild, medium, barbecue, and boneless. So I would kiss the mild wings, and I would kill the Publix chicken tender sub, which is overrated.
Wow.
Wow.
Amy, Marc Hochman has spoken.
He
Mark-
has spoken.
Thank you for
He
joining
hasn't
us.
said anything, but he has spoken.
Thank you for sharing your awful and wonderful food takes, and I hope that we can have you on at some point to share more as we go along.
A
I look forward to
genuine
your
pleasure.
work in the anti-sprinkle movement.
Thank you. I look forward to welcoming you aboard the anti-sprinkle movement.
We're with you, man. We're with
I
you.
appreciate that.
And
This was
welcome-
fun. I really enjoyed it. Anytime I could talk food for hours and hours and hours. So anytime.
All right, my man.
Nice.
Take care. We'll hear you on the radio.
Thanks.
Wow.
I get such a kick out of every ridiculous thing he says, and we could have done that for another hour.
Yeah.
honestly.
No, he had so many bad food takes to just discuss that we would have been there for just forever. I mean,
Yeah.
I really think that we could have gone on for about an hour on his hot takes on the Cheesecake Factory menu. I think we should have we should schedule another follow-up interview just to talk about the menu at the
Just go
Cheesecake
through the
Factory.
menu. That'll be the whole show. Well, just to wrap up, we promised we talk about Smorgasburg, so that's going to start on Saturday, and I'm curious to see how it goes off because it's only Saturdays. It's across from the Old Wood Tavern. Miami folks will know where that is, and it's during the day, and that I'm going to be very curious about because I wonder how many people will survive not melting because that's going to be pretty hot. It's going to be like 11 to 6, I want to say. And we were out there, our colleague Connie and Ogle and I were out there just like when it was closing, and I was like, it's actually starting to get nice now, and it's like 5:30.
Can you remember any of the vendors that stood out to you?
Yeah, Wolf of Tacos, we wrote about. If you Google, Wolf of Tacos in the Miami Herald, Eduardo Lara, who makes really great Mexican style tacos. And as a matter of fact, the guy who founded the Smorgasbord is Mexican background. He's like, these are the best. These are the most legitimate tasting tacos I've had in Miami. So them, Drinking Pig, which was by the former Q guys, now do their barbecue.
That's the barbecue, right?
They do excellent barbecue. They're like neck and neck with Smoke and Dough out in Kendall, with my favorite barbecue right now in Miami. And there's these guys. This is gonna sound very random. They're called Sando, and they make sandwiches. And they had like an egg salad sandwich that your white girl stomach would
That
adore.
sounds so appealing to me right now.
Oh my God, it was so good. It was cold, like it was hot, so it was like this cold egg salad on like lightly toasted thick bread.
Nice.
It was delicious. So I'm curious to check it out. I'm also curious to see how long before they go, instead of from 11 to 6 to 6 to 11.
Yeah,
And put some
exactly.
lights up there. And I think Cake Thai. I mentioned I wrote a story about them that he had a really great Thai place. He is Thai. He and his mom came.
Wait,
from Thailand.
before you go on, say his last name for us.
I won't. I won't, because he's got a Thai last name and it's got 15
A lot
characters.
of letters.
It's got a lot of. I am not kidding when I say it has 15 characters. It does. I will try to. I'll tell you what. I'll pronounce it on the next episode when I have it. In front of
Okay.
me.
Gotta practice.
And so he's going to open up a new spot in July downtown. So we have a story on that online. Google it. You'll find it.
And before we go, let me remind everybody that our Croqueta Sweet 16 is posted, and you still have the opportunity to vote for your favorite croqueta provider in Miami. And the votes are coming in, and we have 2 that are at the top that are just killing it. So you guys, anybody who likes some of the ones that are on the bottom, you need to get your people, and you need to start the votes going on, because I'm telling you, we've got 2 front runners that are really just killing it.
Totally unscientific, just for fun. Nobody wins anything. You just get bragging rights.
Yeah,
and
there
then
is
move
no
on.
prize. We reiterate, there is no prize.
There's no prize. Well, Amy, that's a show.
All right.
I thought it was great having Mark on, and I
The
thought
best.
you were hilarious, and I think people should tune in to, and if they prefer to hear it on audio, they can get all these episodes on your favorite podcast platform.
All right, I'm about to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Have fun with that. Deuces.
Bye.